Hello everyone. As you know, I just did an article about how you can get cited on ChatGPT and other LLMs. And the method, it took us about 4 months, but you can do it in a very aggressive way. Since we know what are the steps, we are going to try to make things happen faster. But first of all, I want to share the manual method we have used. And then down the line, I'll explain how you can speed things up. So the first thing what I did was actually I chose travel agent in San Francisco, and then I clicked on their link and went to the website. So let's say we are gonna use this website as our test subject. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is you need to fix your website SEO. What I meant by this, you check whether the page speed is okay. You can do that by going to the page speed. Google. Okay, this website, and let's say we enter the home page. It will take a couple of minutes. So you need to make sure that you check the mobile version as well as the desktop version, because this is one of the critical factors that Google is checking your website. So even though it's AI optimization or GE optimization, you make sure your website is top notch, because the same principle will apply to any of those search engines, AI, etc. So as you can see, for the mobile, you get about 62%, and the SEO is really good, and the desktop is 84%. So if you get similar results, don't worry about it. You can, I did not add this part, but I'll add that sheet as well. Page speed. So the page speed, what you can do is you can add the page URL and desktop score. Scores, and then desktop you get performance and SEO. Accessibility and best practice is not something critical, but you need to work on that. What I'm saying is I'm going to track only performance and SEO for the time being. Okay. So we'll add performance and SEO. Okay. So I'm going to merge this, and I'm going to merge this as well. So this is for the file. Merge this. Done. Okay. Now the first URL is we have the home page, and we'll make it center to look nice. Done. Okay. So the mobile we have 62 and 92. 62 and 92. Desktop 84, 92. So this is day one, and after fixing it, you need to check whether the score is okay or not. Our rule of thumb is we check all of our pages every week to see because there is a content marketing team, you have the website development team, everybody is there. So they might be updating your website, and sometimes the scores can vary or changes. So if you are updating your website regularly, make sure you check this regularly. And that's number one. So whatever the pages, my suggestion is to stick into 10 pages maximum. So here 3, that means 13. Start focusing on 10 pages. 10 pages also too much work because we started with one prompt for us. So uh, you choose based on your capabilities and your resources and start tracking that. All right. So I'll add another row. So this is for day 1. I would say week 01. Okay. So you can repeat the same process for week 2 as well. And you can keep going. Okay, cool. So that's done. So after that, I'll come to here. And you check whether you have the JSON schemas and whether you have the inner links. So basically, you can use any of the technical tools available in the market. Like you can get the best tool we have worked so far is Screening Frog. So try Screening Frog and find out all the issues and try to fix it one by one. So we have an internal digital marketing team who are good at technical SEO and SEO. So they work on our page speed, JSON schemas, and inner links. So, and there are a lot of things to be fixed. These are some examples. And if you have a SEO team, you can work with them. And if you don't have, you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to any of your colleagues who are familiar with your website. And the second thing you need to do on the first task is NAP consistency. The reason is when you're optimizing for AI, if you have different information across different channels, AI will have a hard time understanding and giving an interpretation about your brand. So one thing we make sure was we check our NAP consistency and we fix all the URL names. If it is SiteSignal, and sometimes we cannot get those usernames, so we got SiteSignal app, etc. So make sure the name, address, and the phone number, those are consistent, as well as whatever the description you are putting out there, it should make sense about your niche, about your industry, what you're doing. So make sure you do that. And then after creating that, put all the links as JSON schemas into your home page. Then it will be easy for AIs to create connections or connect dots between your website and all the social media links, and also connect everything in the footer as a that will allow your visitors to identify or find your social media accounts, as well as at the JSON schemas that will help all the search engines and other AIs to understand what are the social media accounts you have. So don't think this is a one-time thing. We don't believe in that. And having about 60-70% is good enough to start working on your rest of the work. And so far, it took us some time to get our site also up to standard. There are a lot of things to be fixed. So we are humble and we know there are bugs and issues in our website also, but first thing is we know that, and you also need to be aware what other things needs to be done. And then make sure you set up your analytics, search console, and a spreadsheet or SiteSignal. SiteSignal is our app which will help you to track all of these data which are in your spreadsheet in a systematic way in our tool, and you don't have to do all the manual work. As well as you can add Hotjar or we have the clarity. So whatever you prefer, you can add it into your website. And then list of prompts. You need to start understanding the prompts that people are searching. So in our case, what we did was, let me, okay, I'm hoping, oh no, you can't see the screen. Let me share it again. Okay, as you can see, after installing Search Console, you will be able to download from where the traffic is coming. And then based on the dates, it will categorize or segregate the queries and etc. And then you will able to know the device sizes. And there are a few filters. You will able to know what are the most visited pages. And then the queries and the search phrases. This will give you a pretty much good idea about the prompts that you need to start tracking. And also I'll give you one more thing. Now let me share the screen again. Okay. One thing we can do is Perplexity is good and it will help you to understand about the prompts as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm from CA San Francisco under my family. Can you suggest a good travel agent? Sorry about the typos. Okay, done. So this is also one prompt that you can start tracking based on the user intent. I'm going to put this into list of prompts. So while this is going on, okay. As you can see, related, copy paste everything into your document. The reason is Perplexity, it's giving you similar thing just like Google. In Google, you might have, yes, here, international travel agent in San Francisco. So I'll click that. I'll call. So Google has that similar, we call here, similar searches. And the Perplexity is also giving you the similar prompts. So here, compare fees and services of SF travel agencies in Europe. Okay. I'm going to copy another one. Okay. So now I have few prompts that generic prompts that people might be looking for. And then I have this business. I'm gonna go into the document again. Let's categorize it. Category. This is generic. Oops. And then I want to do a research about my brand. Do you know about .com? Are they good? Okay, I'm gonna make it simple. So now I have the brand and the generic, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to this. Oops. Okay, well, let me try this. Yes, it's referring Yelp. For the time being, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take their name. So I'm gonna create my prompts. That is about, okay. I'm gonna do the same thing, just like our brand. I'm gonna search about this competitor as well. Okay, so in order to get things right, you can add the domain name. I haven't tried this, so generally I add the domain name, but let's try this and see whether uh, LLMs recognize this brand in such format. Uncommon journey Pleasant Hill. Okay, I don't think it will able to recognize, so I'm gonna Google them. Anyway, so you can experiment as you wish. For the time being, I'm gonna use this. Okay, now you have the generics, brand, and the competitors. Okay, then what you need to do is I'm gonna go back again. You need to find the competitor citations. That is, I'm gonna use this and go to ChatGPT, start new chat. Okay, now the ChatGPT is searching. I'm gonna click on the sources. Yeah, I'm gonna get so you can copy paste all of that, and then you can copy paste this. Okay, so that is for um, Okay, now you have one domain, and for that one domain, you got the citations. Make sure you write down all the citations and the first date it appeared. So let's say it's 16th November 16th 25. Okay, cool. So if you have XYZ, you add it here, and the next domain you add it here, so you can keep going as long as many computers you want to track. And then afterwards, content plan. So once you get hang of all of this, you will able to list down the domains. So the first thing they use is the company website. Second thing they use is bbb.org, and then trust index. So like that, you will able to understand how they are getting the citations. And now you have the list of prompts as well. So first we'll try to understand about our brand as well. Okay, I'm going to search that as well here. Okay, I have the sources BBB. So you can have your domain also inside of this if you want to track it. I'm going to use here. Okay. Now, what we need to do is I'm going to clear my cache first. Let's say since we have all the prompts, we are going to use this. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to say this one. Okay. Number one is with more travel. So I'm going to click that. So you can go into computer position. More travel ChatGPT is position 1. And then what inches 2. Three. Okay. So as you can see, Google has given us 4 results. And for my prompt, I found this particular website as the number 1 resource inside of Google. So some people think you are being first on Google, you will able to get the same results inside of ChatGPT. No, it's not, because LLMs use different algorithms, and Google uses different algorithm. Bing has a different algorithm. So you need to work on your way in for each of those LLMs and search engines. And now this is how you are going to track it. So you can do the same with your position also. For an example, the domain we choose was this one. Mm, No, you just need to copy paste the prompt. Sorry. So I choose this one. We did not appear, so I'm going to put 0. And we have the computers here. So every day you start tracking this, and I will show you an easy way as well. So for SiteSignal, what we did was we were doing this manually, and the reason why we built the SiteSignal was actually we wanted to have our own tool and make it really simple for you to get the strategy done or your execution done. So this process has taken more than 30 minutes. Manually, if you are doing this manually, it will take more than 30 minutes. But let's say we have the SiteSignal. I'm going to use my name, Niraj, and my Gmail. Why will lose sites dot app password? I'll use simple password. Okay, one upper data. Okay, done. So I'm going to create a count. Now the time is 3:02 early morning. We'll see how long it will take us to do the computer research and track it everything using the SiteSignal. Okay. So here I'm going to click on add domain. I'm going to use a trial. Domain name is this. Objective is sell travel plans. Target audience is well, love to travel. You need to add this because this will give a context to your LLM prompt creation. And for the time being, I'll use US, United States. Okay. And since we created our prompts, I'm going to go to prompts. Generic, I'm going to copy this. Prompt 1, I'll go to the generic. Title is, I'm using something called BV framework. You can have any title you want. This is like a category. So just for my easy reference, I'm going to use this. This is the first query. I'm going to go to the second one. This is a generic, right? Yeah. So generic. Done. Generic. Done. So I'll do a brand one. This will help us to understand whether our brand is being identified as a good brand or a negative one. So I'm going to select brand, framework, and then we'll do computer research as well. Okay, I save the domain and go to view. It will take about 2 to 3 minutes to populate the data. So meanwhile, I'll explain the brand radar part so you will able to understand if you create an account, how you can use it. So you have the first brand radar section. You go to the prompts. You will able to see all the prompts that you have entered in when you are starting the account. So if you want to add more prompts, go to add prompts and add a title. Okay, here. So sorry, if you want to have multiple prompts, then you need to add here. Otherwise, we'll call it BV framework. Category again, generic. We had another one missing. Okay, this one. And if you want to add multiple prompts, you can add it here and click enter. To confirm the section, so it will say 3 prompts. So for the time being, I need only one. So I'm going to add that. Confirm, add prompt. Okay, done. Okay, and then in a while, so let's say you give it about 2-3 minutes. Okay, now nice. So this is our domain, and these are the competitors automatically selected by ChatGPT and other AIs. And we have this, they got cited, and our brand is not appearing. It's 0. And if I go to here, so far, I'm from CA for these prompts. These are the competitors selected by the ChatGPT and Perplexity. I'll show you detailed view in another 2 minutes. And for the brand radar, a sentiment analysis, this will help you to understand about your brand, whether ChatGPT and Perplexity is telling negative things or positive things about your brand. Because sometimes, even though you do marketing activities, people might go and ask ChatGPT, what do you think about this? Is it good? Are they good? So you need to have positive sentiment of coming from those AIs. And here you will able to see which date, if AI mention anything negative about your brand, you will able to see it here. So I'm going to refresh this. Okay, prompts are still propagating, so we'll give it a 2 minutes and we'll come into brand radar. So previously here I mentioned that you need to make sure your basic details or basic SEO should be there. So that's why we added uptime monitor. So every 5 minutes it check whether your website is up or down and what is the response time. So as you can see, this website takes about 2 seconds to load. Generally, rule of thumb is it should be less than 2000 milliseconds. So they are within the limits, but in a higher level. and the SSL is valid and it expires on next year. And then generally we do a audit also. So you can see there are a few things they have failed and they can get it fixed. So you don't have to worry about these results. It's just it will take some time for you to fix it. As you can see, they have passed 20 things, only 5 warnings and 8 failed. So they just need to fix only 8 activities. And in terms of page audits, you need to add your pages into this section. So then your pages also will get the audits done automatically. So you don't have to do manual page speed inside checks. Our tool, it's automatically check every day what's going every week what's going on and let you know if something needs to be fixed. And if you have a WordPress site, you can connect it, and there are a few more tools that, let's say you have a lot of team members, you add all the team members you want. And if you want to get reminders, you can get the reminders and alerts into your email account. By default, your email will receive alerts, but if you want to add any other recipients, you can add as many as you want. There are no restrictions. So if I go into brand radar again, I think, okay, so this one is still running, but I will go into the individual prompts. So all the prompts, the company we chose, the company came number 1 in Google, is not visible on ChatGPT or any other LLM. So I'm going to go into not visible and I'm going to click this one and see, okay, there are no data yet. Okay. So the algorithm is still propagating the data. That's why it's not appearing. We'll give it 2 minutes and I will stop the recording and I will resume when I have the data. Okay.